I want you to want me. Oh no, I can't sleep.
This scene isn't just a turning point in The Last American Virgin. It's a gut-wrenching revelation of how deeply value, perception, and purity all intersect in a man's eyes. This scene is pure 80s heartbreak, made iconic by the Commodores' haunting "Oh No."
Oh no, I can't sleep.
Even without words, the emotions run high. Karen's choices, Rick's confidence, and Gary's desperation. These elements are all woven into the song's bittersweet tones.
Oh no, I can't think.
"Oh no" is right as Rick and Karen inch closer, about to cross a line that Gary can't bear to watch. He's rushing to the stadium, hoping to stop his best friend from busting Karen's cherry.
They probably just went for a walk.
Bullshit, David. He took her to the football field to bust her cherry, and you know it.
He's running toward heartbreak, and it's brutal. If you've been rocking with us since last year, you already know we did a full breakdown of The Last American Virgin. But today, we're zooming in on this moment, because this isn't just a scene, it's a lesson. But to really get the impact of this scene and why it matters so much to Gary, we need to start from the beginning.
Ain't that a man?
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
So, who is Karen? She's the girl everyone remembers from The Last American Virgin. Diane Franklin's character wasn't your typical bombshell, but she had that 80s it girl charm, the kind of natural beauty that felt genuine and grounded. Dark curls, wide eyes, a sweet girl next door vibe. Karen looked like someone you actually might know. Her charm was subtle but unforgettable, accessible yet untouchable. Karen's appeal wasn't just about looks, it was what she represented. She had a youthful energy that's universally appealing. Studies even show men are wired to find that attractive because it signals vitality and fertility. Karen embodied this naturally.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
Well,
Thanks again, Gary.
But why is Gary racing to the football field? Why does he care if Rick, his best friend, gets to Karen first? Before we get into Gary's heartbreak, let's talk about Karen's choices.
I'm going crazy knowing he will be your lover tonight.
Now here's your dose of red pill vitamins. Karen isn't being forced into this. They are at a freaking high school football field of all places, and Karen wants to be there with Rick. Does she look like she wants to be saved? For all the audience sympathy Gary's about to get, it's essential to remember that women are the gatekeepers of sex. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens without a woman's consent. And if it does, that's another story entirely. But this, Karen is choosing to be there. Don't let any woman tell you crap like this.
We had an emotional affair before we even had a physical affair. We were talking on the phone for months. It wasn't premeditated. So I hate to say it sounds cliche, but it just happened. I didn't just fall on his penis, but it just happened.
Rick, the classic player, has no plans of settling down, but Karen is with him, thinking she'll be the one to change him.
oh, come on, man. You might as well just forget about him. Maybe he'll give you sloppy seconds.
Here's the red pill truth. Women today, like women back then, choose! And it's this ability to choose that shaped modern hookup culture. Sex doesn't happen without consent, and as much as Gary wants to stop this, he's powerless against Karen's decision. Men love to believe they can save a woman from her own choices. But the truth is, she was never looking for a savior to begin with.
I'm going crazy with love.
Gary isn't just racing to the football field because he's jealous. It's deeper than that. To him, Karen represents something sacred. The potential for commitment, trust, even building a family. Sex, for Gary, isn't just casual, it's a bond. And seeing Karen share this with Rick, a guy who's allergic to responsibility, isn't just a betrayal, it's a punch to the soul.
But I'm not on the pill.
Me neither.
Rick's track record speaks volumes: unprotected sex, jokes about getting women pregnant, and zero accountability. And yet, it's Gary who ends up footing the bill, literally, when Karen gets pregnant. He pays for the abortion not because he supports her choice, but because he's hopelessly devoted to a girl who chose a man who couldn't care less. This is where the red pill truth hits hard. For men, purity is about trust and exclusivity. It's not just about being the first, but about avoiding the devastation of paternity fraud or raising someone else's kid. When Karen sleeps with Rick, she's essentially locking herself out of Gary's vision of a future together.
I promise you, it'll be all right. Karen, I know dozens of girls who've been through it, and it was fine.
This scene captures an intimacy that, for Gary, should be more than a casual hookup.
I can't sleep.
And as the Commodore's "Oh no" echoes through the stadium, it sets the tone for what's unfolding. A bittersweet, almost tragic moment. For Gary, this is sacred ground. For Rick, it's just another conquest. Karen's not just falling for any guy. She's falling for Rick, the high school Chad who probably won't even remember this moment tomorrow. She's hooked. Chadstruck, leaving her less available to men like Gary who see her as more than just a night out. It's biology at play too. Science tells us that oxytocin, the bonding hormone, kicks in during moments like these, especially for women, forming ties that can be hard to break. For Gary, this realization stings. He knows deep down that he'll always be Karen's backup plan, not her first choice. This isn't just attraction, it's a permanent stamp that will stick with Karen long after this night.
I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough.
So why does this matter so much to Gary? Reputation. Let me talk to you for a minute while this bittersweet violin melody carries the weight of everything we've just witnessed. For men, a woman's value lies in her exclusivity and purity, while for women, a man's value is tied to his resources and status. When men treat women like everyone else, they lose their appeal. But in modern hookup culture, women aren't willing to give exclusivity in exchange for status. And this disconnect is breaking down relationships. Gary's heartbreak isn't just about Karen's decision, it's about what her choice says about her value in his eyes. In the 80s, women were still often seen as angels, with reputations that were fiercely protected. Karen's character is portrayed as the good girl being corrupted by Rick, a moment where Gary hopes to save her, clinging to the values that once defined relationships. Fast forward to 2025 and this scene would hit differently. Today, Karen wouldn't be the good girl gone wrong. She'd be another character navigating a culture that celebrates just hooking up. Karen's innocence is no longer something to protect but a choice among many. And Gary, holding on to his ideals, is almost like a relic, a last of his kind. The cultural shift means that those deep traditional values he holds don't quite fit, and he's left clinging to a code that no longer applies. The Last American Virgin isn't just about a lost love. It's about the loss of a way of loving. Gary is the last of a kind, a stand-in for those who struggle to adapt to a world that has moved on. Men like him, holding on to the values of the past, are set up for heartbreak. Welcome to modern times, where those values of the past, they only apply if you're ready to face the disappointment that times have changed. Fellas, stay sharp, stay focused, and as always, man, it's where we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.